Coming up on our next installment of America's Hope, going against all the odds and winning. Winning through the power of transcending a message that tells the world you're here to give hope for the simple good. That's on our next installment of America's Hope. Good evening and welcome to America's Hope. I'm Kelly Wright. Good of you to join us this hour. Wherever you are, I do hope that you and your family are well taking care of each other because you matter. Speaking of the fact that you matter, our youth are very important to us and they matter. What is the state of mind for our young people in America and throughout the world? The World Health Organization reports that more than 2/3 of children around the world have seen or witnessed an act of violence, resulting in trauma and mental health disorders. Now, many children in need of mental health do not receive it, which of course causes the mental health crisis among our youth and teenagers throughout the world to increase at an alarming rate. Now, imagine if you can't get help to those children. Well, what happens then? You see, without the help they need, some of these children will actually fall into depression. They'll be prone to violence, anxiety, and low self-value. And hope for improving their life, well, that seems to be impossible sometimes. Our next guest is all too familiar with what's going on with our youth. And tonight she is talking to us about responding to that alarm, a cry for help from children. Priya Shah is meeting the needs of children right where they are through her own unique story and an art program she calls The Simple Good. Priya, good of you to join us this hour to talk to us about why the arts are an important platform for children to provide them with not an escape, but a way of dealing with their mental health issues and developing hope and faith and love to carry on a successful life. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So tell me how this all began for you when you started reaching out to children to provide them with an emotional outlet for them through art.
Well, yeah, it's been a 11-year journey since I founded the organization and really discovering my own meaning of the simple good within my life and really understand what it means to learn and teach resilience. And a lot of that was inspired by my travels and being able to volunteer all around the world. And that is what actually taught me about hope. I was in a lot of different challenging situations. I worked at orphanages in India and slums in South Africa. I was in Brazil and a lot of different places around the world. And it was really quite incredible to see that how so many children had gone through so much within a short period of time in their lives, and they still had the ability to see beauty in other people and around them, and had the skill set to acknowledge it. And that's what I realized really what provided resilience and allowed our kids to see that beauty does exist in the world, good does exist in the world, and therefore there's a reason to live for it. And this really shifted how I thought about myself, the things that I had to go through and overcome in the different challenges and obstacles that a woman of color born with one hand has to deal with. And these challenges aren't different than what we face now, and it's in fact amplified. And through the arts is what we really focus on, is teaching what does the simple good mean to us, and really challenge our kids to find the inherent assets and truth that lives within us in order for us to bring positive activism into the world. And that's what provides us to initiate the coping process and support a lot of the mental health challenges that we have today.
And as a result of that, you're helping so many children look into the mirror and accept who they are and see who they can become. What is that kind of experience when you see a child go through that type of transformation because of the program, the simple good that you're providing? What does that do for you personally?
It's empowering, right? Our kids teach us the world because they see it through a very pure lens. What we teach our kids is that everything that you need to change the world is already within you. right? Simple goods, we're inherently born with that. And for us to move towards that possibility is what really creates us to move within our own possibility and achieve our dreams. And it's a really empowering thing to witness because it really shows that there is hope despite all these negative, things that we're always seeing and hearing about and witnessing. Is really celebrating the good that does exist on the everyday level in order to amplify positivity in a global level. And that is what supports community and allows humanity to develop and thrive together.
Yeah, what are some of the things that you find children and or youth, teenagers, what are they saying to you about their life and how they want to aspire to do more?
It's a lot of the things that we, even as kids, wanted to see all the time and actually still want to see. We want to live in clean environments and peaceful environments. We want to convey kindness and love. We want to be in nature. These are fundamental truths that are connected to all of us. And this is something that our kids amplify all the time as well. And I think the most beautiful part is that not only do they share what simple good they want to see in the world, but they create an call to action of how they will make that happen. And I think that's a very inspiring reminder to all of us, is that we can do something about the challenges that we face, even in the smallest ways. And these small things are what make an impact for our greater community.
Yeah, and how do you express oneself through art? Because I remember growing up, I always enjoyed art, even if I was trying to do a perspective and draw a skyline. I wasn't that good at it, but the fact that I was able to do it, it just brought something out in me that I hadn't seen before and made me appreciate the artistry that people have. Some of them have this innate ability to be able to draw anything or paint anything. What do you find happens to children when they begin to understand, I really like this art. I like applying it and seeing my own personal expression come out?
Yeah, for us, we start each program saying that being an artist isn't about creating something that is beautiful to everyone. Being an artist is having the courage to create and tell a story about it. And that's what really empowers our kids to just even have the courage to draw something without judgment and create something, because there's a larger purpose to what you create. It creates a truth, it creates hope for others, it creates a connection point to our larger community. And that is why it's so important to create. And, when you give that kind of inspiration and empowerment, kids surprise themselves about what they're able to develop, whether it's a photo, a painting, a drawing. They're like, yeah, I did that, meaning I could do more. And that's the seed that we need to continue to plant to allow our kids to overcome a lot of the challenges that we're facing in the world right now.
Yeah, I love that, because you're actually, by doing that and giving a child a chance to expose that inner creativity, it just seems like they really get out of whatever was causing them to have the depression. When that moment happens, do you see a light go on, and then are you able to ignite that spark of creativity and hope for them to aspire to greatness?
Of course, I think that's a human flame that we need to ignite in all of us. When a child is able to successfully achieve something that's received by the larger community and connected to it, it naturally challenges them to see, what else can I do that can make and bring good into the world? That's something that I think is very natural to all of us, and is something that is very unique to our program that needs to be cultivated everywhere. What I say is that we're really trying to build institutional empathy in our education systems so our students can feel heard and seen. And therefore, when they walk into different parts of the world, different neighborhoods, they have the courage to also amplify their voice there as well. And I think that shifts, what you feel like you can and can't do, more to lean more towards, let me do things that are good for others, and therefore it's good for me too. And I think that's, what we need to really sit on. It's a very small, simple concept that has a profound effect on how we feel safe in this world.